In the modern NBA, where numbers, advanced analytics, and efficiency metrics dominate the discourse, the narrative surrounding a player's value and contribution is often shaped by raw statistics. However, when it comes to the postseason, some decisions transcend the numbers game. One such case is that of Russell Westbrook, the explosive point guard whose journey through the NBA is as much about heart, passion, and grit as it is about his box scores. His playoff decision, whether to start or come off the bench, whether to be the primary ball handler or a secondary playmaker, is one that seems glaringly obvious, even though the stats might tell a different story. Russell Westbrook is one of the most polarizing players in NBA history. He has been both criticized and celebrated for his fearless play style, his explosive athleticism, and his competitive fire. The man who averaged a triple-double for an entire season and won the league MVP in 2017 is also the same player who has been scrutinized for his shooting inefficiencies, decision-making lapses, and his inability to adapt to certain roles on the court. This season, Westbrook's career has taken him from the heights of the MVP conversation to the depths of being labeled as a player who, for all his individual accolades, has yet to truly find success in the postseason. Whether it's his time with Kevin Durant in OKC, his one-season stint with the Houston Rockets, or his late years with the Los Angeles Lakers, Westbrook has always been an enigma when it comes to playoff performance. But despite all the noise around his statistics, one thing is clear. The decision to have Westbrook on the floor in the postseason, regardless of his statistical output, is a no-brainer. His value goes beyond the numbers. Playoff basketball is a different animal. The game slows down, the stakes are higher, and the intensity is unparalleled. This is where the greats separate themselves from the rest. For a player like Westbrook, who thrives on speed, aggression, and the ability to create havoc, the postseason presents a unique challenge. His game, built around relentless attacking, quick transitions, and sheer willpower, doesn't always mesh with the playoff environment, where teams are more disciplined and prepared for every move. However, to dismiss him simply because of statistical shortcomings would be a mistake. The decision about whether to start him or bring him off the bench in the playoffs isn't about raw stats alone. It's about understanding the intangibles he brings to the table. One of the most overlooked aspects of Westbrook's game is his leadership. The fact that he has led multiple teams through playoff runs speaks to his ability to galvanize a group of players. His intensity is contagious, and his competitive fire can raise the level of play in his teammates. The leadership qualities he brings to the floor are often overshadowed by the narrative of him being a bad teammate or a ball hog. But when you look at his impact on a game, it's clear that Westbrook's presence can be a game changer. Even if his stats aren't the most efficient, or if his shooting is streaky, Westbrook's passion can ignite a team, and that can sometimes be more important than any field goal percentage. Westbrook's offensive game has always been predicated on his ability to break down defenses with his driving ability. In the regular season, this can be effective, as teams have more time to adjust and often don't prepare for the same level of defensive intensity. However, in the playoffs, defenses are tightened, and every move is scrutinized. Despite the criticisms of his shot selection, Westbrook is a player who can get to the rim like few others. His relentless attacking style keeps opposing defenses on edge, creating opportunities for his teammates. While this might not always result in efficient scoring, it often forces the defense to collapse, opening up space for shooters or creating mismatches elsewhere on the floor. In the postseason, these types of drives and forced rotations can swing games. It's not always about making the perfect play. It's about creating opportunities and putting pressure on the defense. This is where Westbrook's value lies. His ability to get to the basket, even when not scoring, can be a catalyst for his team's offense. Another often underappreciated aspect of Westbrook's game is his ability to impact the game off the ball. While he has often been the primary ball handler throughout his career, Westbrook's ability to attack as an off-ball player should not be discounted. His transition play, his aggressiveness in moving without the ball, and his ability to attack mismatches can still make him a valuable asset in the playoffs. In a postseason series, matchups often dictate how players are utilized. A team might not need Westbrook to carry the offense, but rather to capitalize on smaller or weaker defenders. With his athleticism and unpredictability, he can be a nightmare for defenders who are forced to chase him around screens or guard him in transition. This is where he can be effective even when he's not the focal point of the offense. Westbrook's ability to play with intensity, elevate the play of his teammates, and make winning plays in critical moments is what makes him an invaluable piece in the playoffs. The postseason is filled with uncertainty, and every team needs a wild card, a player who can change the complexion of a game with a single play, a single moment of brilliance. Westbrook's impact in a playoff series is not necessarily going to show up in the box score in the traditional sense. It's not just about points, rebounds, or assists. It's about his willingness to make plays when it matters most. His competitive drive, his ability to push the pace, and his capacity to shift momentum with his energy are qualities that can tilt a series in his team's favor. With all the intangibles at play, the real question for any playoff-bound team considering Westbrook's role is whether he should start or come off the bench. Statistically, Westbrook's effectiveness has often been questioned when he's been used as a starter in playoff series. His shooting percentages, particularly from deep, have been inconsistent, and his tendency to dominate the ball at times has disrupted offensive flow. Yet, his ability to come in as a bench player and bring instant energy, both on offense and defense, is undeniable. A bench role allows him to exert pressure without the expectations of being the focal point. Coming in fresh off the bench allows him to make quick decisions, attack mismatches, and provide a spark that can turn the tide of a game. He can be the player who provides a burst of energy and sets the tone in stretches when the starting unit is resting. At the same time, Westbrook has the ability to fit into different lineups depending on the matchup. Teams with strong bench units might benefit from his presence on the floor when the opposing team's starters are resting. But on teams without that depth, Westbrook can certainly handle the load as a starting point guard, especially when paired with another ball handler or a playmaking forward who can take some of the load off his shoulders. Ultimately, whether he starts or comes off the bench, the decision is one based not just on his stats, but on the intangible qualities that make him a unique postseason player. Teams must understand that Westbrook's value lies in his ability to impact the game beyond just shooting percentages. It's about the energy he brings, the leadership he provides, and the unpredictability that keeps defenders on edge. In a league increasingly obsessed with analytics, it's easy to forget that some of the most crucial aspects of basketball go beyond the numbers. Russell Westbrook's playoff value is not found in his field goal percentage or his assist-to-turnover ratio alone. His value is found in his heart, his leadership, and his relentless will to win. At the end of the day, the NBA postseason is not a math problem. It's a battle of will, of heart, and of who can rise to the occasion when it matters most. Westbrook has the intangible qualities that make him an undeniable asset in that setting. When the stakes are high and the pressure is mounting, the Russell Westbrook decision is simple. He's a player you want on the court, no matter what the stats say.